silent as a tomb. I hope we aren't too late. If Virgil's not about, he's like to be in the training grounds. There's a lift that will take us lower, and no people behind the door next to those stairs.
Tristan! It's a relief to see your friendly face.
Do come up.
Virgil! Ah, thank the architect I found you intact. We visited the Supreme Arbiter's office in Central Control and found something impossible.
Impossible? Why is it impossible? So that you may claim ignorance as to the truth of what you've uncovered? Fine. If you're still so thick-skulled, Tristan, then I can see I've no choice but to confess. Hold. Do you hear movement?
Attention, Arbiter Virgil Montag. Under the jurisdiction of the Consul, we stand to bring you low. Do not resist.
Damnation! I knew the Sentinels were looking for me, but I did not expect they would come to this place. We have no choice but to fight. I can operate our turrets from this location, but you must engage the Sentinels head-on to prevent our being overwhelmed. Go now!
Arbiter Montag, lay down your arms. Surrender and die. Prudence dictates we rout all disruptive influence. Those fools were but an expeditionary force. I've no doubt the bulk of their number remains on the surface. I shall take an alternate path to prepare a surprise for our would-be assailants. Then I shall flank them as you engage them.
Hold. You were beginning to say something before we were ambushed. I would care to hear it.
We cannot have this conversation until you're safe. Engage those on the surface and I shall join you. Go now.
Improving position.
Don't become a statistic, Commander. Taking the fight out of them. Locking them.
Virgil, enough! Our being at odds with the Consul is one thing, but that was a small army! What have you done?
You already know whether you're willing to admit it or not. Do you sincerely have a need for me to spell it out before you'll face the truth? Very well then. Tristan, you stand before the murderer of the Supreme Arbiter.
I don't believe this. The Consul must have captured you and sent you to mental refreshment. It's the only...
Open your eyes, Rao. Those Sentinels were here with due cause. The elimination of a murderer. The Supreme Arbiter was planning to send a message in her final moments, pledging allegiance to the Consul. Who do you think bore witness to those final moments? I did what I thought was just.
No. You lied to me?
I had to. I knew that if you learned what had transpired, why I did what I did, it would destroy you.
Would it? Or were you just trying to save yourself from my wrath?
With the demands this war has made on us all, had not seen our mentor for some time. My visit was meant to be a surprise. Unfortunately, it was. I overheard her decision to align herself with the Consul before she realized I was there. This admission, I had no choice but to act.
But there was a choice. Why didn't you come to me? Together we could have come up with something. Some other course of action.
Because I didn't want you to know. I never wanted you to learn the truth because I feared you'd lose your faith. No. Sentinel Peralt's remarks were the first I'd heard of any secret room. I feared what you might learn there, so I scrambled to find an agent who might locate the room before you. I only had one contact who I knew may be able to do the job. Obviously, he did not succeed. I was pleased to learn that my decision did not result in his death, at the very least. That is news to me. A junior arbiter judging Tristan. I can't imagine you let that stand.
Killing one of Arcadia's future arbiters over a singular breach of rank would have been most tragic. But this is not the matter we're here to discuss.
How dare you! I would have rather done anything else. But the explicit reason that I had to act was out of my loyalty. The Supreme Arbiter did more than mentor us. She all but raised us as her own. There was not a step we took that she did not watch. A fact we know that she did not teach. And I killed her. As a traitor. Damn you. Damn you 1,000 times. How can I not bear remorse for the slaying of one I considered my own kin? No matter what I do, I find myself reliving that moment whenever I close my eyes. Her sin was unforgivable to the Protectorate, but No. The situation was a nightmare. Any action would have been the wrong one. I only wonder if the path I took was worth it.
I cannot believe what I am hearing. You know that I have to judge you. There's no other choice available to me. You're right. You're right. I can't let emotion get the better of me. This is not the first time we've encountered the paradoxical nature of Protectorate law. Each time we did, you convinced me to stay my hand, and I do not regret those I spared. Our prior conclusions inform my present feelings. I theoretically understand what Virgil did, for there was no proper decision he could make. But I cannot view this objectively. Virgil killed our mentor. It's madness. I cannot simply let that stand. Can I? I just don't know. This situation has me at a loss. Deciding on a borderline crime is a far cry from murdering a superior officer. The law is clear on this. It is explicitly illegal for an inferior to execute their superior. The issue must be accelerated to a higher authority. But is addressing traitorism not the utmost priority of any arbiter? Is not the betrayal of everything we stand for more significant than a breach of protocol? I wish to argue with you. With myself, with Virgil, with the Supreme Arbiter. This madness should never have come to pass. But it has. And I must contend with that. I cannot bring myself to execute my sworn brother. It could be better if I did not. I cannot be sure this path does not fly in the face of all I believe, or speak to some weakness at the depths of my being. I know not what to make of the Supreme Arbiter's betrayal. I'll have to ruminate on it for some time. But that aside, I forgive you, Virgil. You are spared.
Wise choice. You'll sleep better tonight, I swear. And every other, forevermore.
Would that I could forgive myself. I shall have to live with what I have done in the name of the Protectorate. Indeed. I suppose I must make myself scarce.
Virgil, you should take comfort in doing what was right. The Supreme Arbiter was a traitor. I believe her execution was just. And you should as well.
Just in the eyes of the Protectorate. But we've forever lost our mentor, our friend. And, I might add, if the Protectorate had its way, you or I would presently lie dead as well. How can I see the morality in a system that demands brothers, guardians, friends kill one another in its name?
I know I should return your words vehemently, but today's revelations make it nigh impossible to know what to think.
1,000 words of thanks for meeting me here, Tristan. I know not what the future holds for us, but for the time being I must make myself scarce. Though, before I go, a parting gift. May Tristan make use of it better than I.
Go with the Sovereign's blessing, brother. And be careful. If you survive today only to be brought low by an agent of the Consul at a later point, I shall be most annoyed. Commander, this has all been draining. I need time to process what we've learned today. What I've done. Later, I hope we might discuss it. Commander, I've had some time to process what transpired with Virgil. Despite the manner of what Virgil has done, I cannot help but be glad I did not need to slay him. I can only hope he does not run afoul of further sentinels. I still have much doubt about my path, but I don't believe Protectorate law is as ironclad as I once thought. Having good intentions does not spare you. Doing what you think is right does not spare you. This cannot be justice. Yet what can I do? More than 100 years of Protectorate society cannot be changed by a lone body. Can it? But how? I see. I must follow my own path. My own sense of right and wrong. I can only hope it has been cultivated properly. I shall remain with the Protectorate, interpreting its laws through a moral instead of a punitive lens. Innocent until proven guilty is a novel concept, but it is worth a try. A drunken, disorderly subject once struck my faceplate with an electrical pitchball stick, resulting in a concussion. My head pounds worse now, but my heart feels lighter. When we began traveling together, I was not sure what to make of you. But your input throughout our time together has been invaluable. I deeply appreciate your hand in this investigation, Commander, and in entertaining my incertitude. Let us move forth to free Arcadia from injustice.
It appears Horizon Point Station is still in the process of being reconstituted. The rift itself is also more unstable than ever. As a result, landing closer to the location of the Protectorate's large-scale rift anomaly modulator is not possible. In order to modify it with the rift data you processed in the archive, you will need to travel to its location on foot and seize it from Protectorate control. The energy readings from the modulator can be traced to the Sovereign's flagship, Providence, hovering on the far side of the station. Hypothesizing. Given Protectorate hierarchy and the recent announcement about the Sovereign's mental refreshment, this is likely the Consul's doing. He will need to be stopped.
And I know just how to stop him. Get me close and I'll make it quick.
Intimidation is not required. Protectorate subjects are not programmed to question authority. Warning. The rift is growing dangerously unstable. Using the rift modulator on board the Providence is the only way to prevent certain destruction of the colony. While the Order and Auntie's Choice have sent their forces to assist you in intercepting the modulator, it will take time for them to navigate the station. It seems Agent DeVries is also here, Commander. She sent word that she, quote, knew you wouldn't be able to stay away either, and is ready to finish what she started. End quote.
Of course she's here. The past is future and all that. Well, I'm not trusting her to get the job done. Not like last time.
Once the modulator is secured, it may be used to close the rift and save Arcadia and all those in its orbit. There is minimal room for error, Commander. Good luck.
What in the interminable void are we looking at here? Everything that's been reconstituted appears maladjusted, imperfect, defective. Yes, that's definitely the...
Locking them down.
Bro, son, got them. Inverting my strength. Mobility.
Hand ray. Exposure.
Standing by.
Hand ray. Exposure. Undermining.
Is an affront against the architect. against the nature of all things. We must bring an end to this, immediately.
We must all fulfill our duty to the Protectorate, but none of us can do it alone. Remember, we're all in this together. The skip drive is our legacy. It is our learning. It is who we are.
We have stepped into the world between life and death.
The brains of Horizon Point Station to determine who introduced the flaw into our perfect skip drive manufacturing process.
Yeah. This poor boy. Someone put him back together all wrong.
Skip drive manufacturing process.
Without the rift modulator, I doubt we'd make much progress here.
Attention! This is your anti-calling. Per our agreement, Anti's choice support ships, including the fine print, the contingency plan, and the upper hand, are headed your way. Order forces are on a similar trajectory.
We've support in spades. The consul must be quaking in his boots.
You still possess that shield modulator, yes?
Target analyzed. Lay down fire.
This is Augustine DeVries, formerly of the Earth Directorate.
Investigating hostile
Consider
intention.
this a recording for posterity. The Consul of the Protectorate is responsible for the twisted wreckage of this station. It is my hope that whatever you find here will save the rest of the galaxy from this fate. Know that I did my level best to stop him. But if you are listening, it is likely I have failed in my mission. Yet again. For that.
That's DeVries' ship. Good thing. We'd had a dearth of misguided fools, hadn't we?
I shall reduce them to a slurry!
Check your scopes for combatant analysis.
Our commander hangs from a thread! Only the spikes can assail the injured.
Adversary vulnerabilities are... Mitigating the threat. Troopification in progress.
Medics and pharmaceutical provisions incoming. And we're right behind them with a delivery of Auntie's choice finest supplies. Soon you'll say, that is better than nature.
Forward! Forward! Destroy these abominations! Adjusting calculations. Hold fire on our allies.
Arbiters to arms. Unauthorized individuals have infiltrated our station. Execution protocol duly authorized. Defend the station.
The architect. Is there another sane person in this horrible place? They sound distressed. We must rescue them.
Get away from me. See them? They were my teammates and they didn't listen neither. You'll end up just the same.
Agent Pascal, calm yourself. You are not in your right mind.
Don't you talk to me like you know me. Wait. Commander? Is that you? No. No, this must be some kind of trick. Oh, what's happening to me? So it is you. Thank law. I don't understand what happened, Commander. Something was wrong with Sandoval and Jepson. They glowed like they were aflame. They ran in, jumped at me, clawed at me. Law, I had to kill them.
Then they weren't too dissimilar from the troopers we encountered outside. This is concerning.
I don't understand what's happening. Everything was fine. Till the explosion. I was pinned. Fire closed in. I tried to move. I tried to find the rookie. Then the whole station shook and tore apart. And then... nothing.
That explains it. She was left alive, just long enough for the rift to take her. That's why the reconstitution worked on her. To some extent.
Wait. There was something else. Sandoval was yelling. DeVries wasn't responding to comms. What happened? Don't tell me the situation got too fluid for you, DeVries. That it?
Certainly not. I was focused on the objective, as every one of your crew should have been. Isn't that right, Commander?
Yeah. Something tells me that ain't quite true.
That's right. It wouldn't do to have any distractions. I'm thankful that you understand.
Oh. But everything ain't right, is it? That thing in the sky. It's done something to me, I think. And to Sandoval. And Jepson. But I ain't sure what.
The Protectorate are attempting to reconstitute the station to how it was moments before destruction. That includes you. But it's failing. I'm sorry.
So I've come back from death to some... what? Some warped version of life? All because of some twisted experiment? Is that about right? You can help me, though. Right, Commander? You could do something to fix this. How much time? The way I'm bleeding out, I ain't sure how long I can hold on. Then go bring the fight to those bastards. I'll do my best to hold on.
Pascal? Helen? I can stay with you for a moment, if you'd like. Might help with the wait for the commander.
Yeah, all right. Maybe you can patch me up some if things take a turn. Hurry back, huh? I'll keep the porch light on.
These soldiers look even more hideous than our graphics experiments.
You may approach, Commander. We've got supplies at the ready.
Initial observations just as I predicted. You appear to have suffered some trauma. Sometimes my own accuracy troubles me so. Any treatments or supplies you may require are complimentary at the request of our presiding bishop. Very well. You should notice an improvement to your constitution imminently. May the numbers guide you. We shall stand by for further orders. Initial observations conclude that the subject does not possess major ailments. Initial observations conclude that the subject
The Sovereign's ship up close. I believe we can safely assume he's not on it, or on that rover approaching the skip lab.
Reconstituted mechs still function. How inconvenient.
Check your scope. That's an analysis. Taking the fight out of them. Mitigating the threat. Well, despite the low probability of such an occurrence, a rift and a plasma hazard are directly blocking our path to the Sovereign's ship. Suggest we scour the area. The scientists here were unlikely near the caliber of the Order, but perhaps they left something useful. This is very curious.
Some of the science eludes me, but this equation, although incomplete, clearly has to do with the rift in the other room. What do you think, Commander?
Can't hear orders. Who's there? It's me!
At your word, I shall charge!
Sovereign's office. Worth a search for the equation, even if the place looks like an adult playpen.
My sovereign would have solved such a complex equation himself. What a... We operate by the sovereign's grace. Our accomplishments are his own. If you wish to take credit for a punishment I meted out, I would be delighted.
Scientist Bernard Rand.
Splendid. Rift secure.
Monitoring the reconstitution, I picked up strange readings in the old skip lab. The core appears to be pulling plasma tightly around it, not unlike a planet and its moons. Fascinating, though it thwarts my attempts to gather more data. Fortuitously, in searching the remains of the lab, I found an equation that could manipulate the core just enough to cleave the chip. And must be a record of Protectorate ingenuity.
Ready to dispense!
The man who marched fearlessly into chaos.
Mitigating the threat. Locking them down.
Cannot doubt. If we do not take that rover to the Providence, Arcadia may be consumed by these rifts. Lethal measures at the ready. ready, Commander.
Attention. Please report to intake for processing.
Gunfire. We seem to have entered undetected. We'd best unseal the hangar to continue our ingress.
Attention, Arcadia. Intruder. Be vigilant.
Never hurts to get the enemy more targets to shoot at, I suppose.
At your word, I shall charge!
Transmitter down.
Join me. We have important business to discuss. Come, quickly.
This unit, please make a request.
Better get a move on before this ramshackle sprattle of a station falls apart. Hustle up to the science wing. Get the rift modulator. I'll talk at you later.
We could do this the hard way or the smart way.
I shall not stay your intruder alert.
Combatant scan.
En route. Exposure.
Energy transmitter active. Adversary vulnerabilities identified.
Your fight is with me!
I have a fix on their weakness.
Unleash my might upon
Sensors. Continue investigation.
On the Earth.
We either find access credentials or stick to the shadows then. Both options are certainly more efficient than raucous hostilities.
If we choose to keep from arbitrating the local scientists, we may be able to gather information where the console's modulator is stationed.
You there! Are you...
Enemy moving into harm's way. From me.
Shame, that. But such is the risk of aligning with a traitor.
Well, the modulator certainly fits the red box. Fortunately, the ship makes a convenient captain's list. Just need to learn how it all works together.
Adversary vulnerability. Check your scope.
On the other.
Target analyzed.
You cannot.
Taking the fight out of them. I have a fix on their weaknesses. Target analyzed. Lay down fire. There be none. Fortification in progress. Check your scope.
Plasma tolerances exceeded.
Accessing report. Rift restoration analysis. Compiled by Chief Scientist Monserrate. Marked for delivery to Consul Thoreau.
Esteemed Consul, after much analysis, my conclusion is that the modulator we have worked tirelessly to build will not function as intended when used for reconstituting matter from rifts. Every test of reconstitution has resulted in demonstrable failure. Proceeding as we are now with Horizon Point Station will surely lead to severe, unanticipated consequences. The modulator is only effective at closing rifts from unsafe distances. Using it to close exacerbated rifts will certainly lead to the destruction of any vessel carrying it. Unfortunately, the data that we originally had hoped for from the ancient rifts detected in the far reaches of space untouched by humanity has not yielded any of its secrets. And we are now out of time. All of our recent readings suggest that we're on the verge of losing control of this rift. I recommend diverting from our current plan before it is too late for Arcadia. I've included extensive notes and annotations appended to the modulator schematics to substantiate these conclusions. I know you will guide us wisely, my dear Consul.
Schematic secured. These rift coordinates are deep into unexplored space. That contradicts most rift calculations, or hints at more troubling implications. Best table that topic for now. We can't do anything with it.
Nothing with the rift modulator yet. Not until we deal with the console. So, shall we?
Look at you, here before me. Surprised you could outrun these new legs of mine. They're what everyone's going to be wearing next fall. Well, I'm here now. Where's the rift modulator? So Consul Thoreau has everything directly under his control. I'd say that's remarkably competent for the Protectorate, but he is the one who's been pulling their strings all along. Did you find anything else of note? Wait, what? But rifts are caused by skip drive travel. Human-piloted skip drive travel. How is that possible? You're the one in the dark. I'm simply musing aloud. Much as I'm intrigued by the significance of all this, there's no time to dwell on it now. We need to confront the Consul. You might be savvy enough to talk him down, but his type requires a deft touch. You'll need to break him down brick by brick. If you're too adversarial, he'll simply shut down. Certainly. The doubt you cultivate up front will make him more susceptible to what comes after. And in case you aren't quite as sharp as you appear, be ready to fight.
You may try to reason with the Consul, but I suspect it is a worthless effort. Traitors typically only realize their errors through force.
The more we debate, the more time we squander. We must resupply and shore up whatever defenses we have quickly. And if you've something to say to any of us, Commander, I suggest you say it while you have the chance. No telling what awaits us beyond that door.
I'd say it's been an honor, but, well, suppose we both know better by now.
Dr. Essman. Very punctual, good. Don't take a seat, this will be quick. My sentinels tell me you have some interesting ideas. Oh, easy, no need to break into a sweat. Interesting ideas can be useful in the right hands. Especially now that our partnership with the Order has become...
honorable to the last. The Consul will pay. He will pay most dearly.
So, I do have a germ of an idea. A less grand version...
Never would I ever have believed Auntie Cleo herself would walk through that door. But I haven't time to linger in the novelty. Sentinels, if you would.
Do I appear like someone afraid of a few guns? Give it up, Emery. You've lost this war. Have some dignity. You're coming off desperate.
On the contrary, this desperate action is what will save all of Arcadia and rid it forever of trespassers like you. Do not place his decision at my feet. I know it's difficult for the likes of you to fathom the concept of self-sacrifice, but he chose mental refreshment for the good of us all. And what am I to do but carry on his legacy? What am I to do but achieve what he could not? I don't doubt that, Commander. Yes, I know well who you are. In any other situation, I might be compelled to take you apart and see how precisely it is you operate, but time, it would seem, isn't on your side. You are a relic of an impotent institution, propelled forward by nothing more than luck and foolhardy metal. Indeed. Rarely are there enough measures to keep the most tenacious of sprats from gnawing their way in. I've been following your progress closely, you know, since you so unceremoniously caused our Vox relay to crash into Westport. When you began your dealings with the Order and the Corporatists, I thought that perhaps having a chaotic element in their midst could work in our favor. But now you're here, scurrying around my ship and attempting to thwart the Protectorate yet again. No, I don't think I will. Tell me, did you manage to stop us from bringing your peace talks to a swift end? As I recall, Greater Tranquility was reduced to little more than mangled ruins in a single moment.
You used the peace talks as a test run for this.
It was a modest success. I had hoped it'd hobble Auntie's choice in the Order once and for all, but it has proven to be a valuable lesson in patience. I was able to buy the time to enact the very plan before you. Though, judging from that vacant expression on your face, it would appear you've no idea what I intend. Very well. Once the rift destroys Arcadia, we shall edit the information stored within it and use the modulator to reshape our colony into its perfect form. Horizon Point's destruction all those years ago was a tragedy, yes, but without it, we might never have opened our eyes to our true purpose and the possibility of Arcadia's rebirth. When the matriarch discovered the first skip drive, she set us on a course to elevate humanity. We're now writing our path, and I will do my part as the architect intended. Intrepid, aren't you? Well, what's relevant is what came after. Our matriarch dissected this skip drive technology, learned its secrets, and enabled us to produce them en masse, which eventually led to the manifestation of rifts. But it was not until well after Horizon Point's untimely end that we understood the opportunity gifted us. The opportunity to reconstruct the colony in its perfect form. It is as the Grand Architect designed. And believe you me, I've no intention of letting you thwart our securing of a better future. One free of doubt and greed.
Beware, Commander. The Consul is a master manipulator. Trying to speak with him may be more dangerous than simply slaying him on the spot.
You're entirely out of your jurisdiction. And were I within reach, I would strike down this apostate dog myself. If you wish for me to entertain your argument, you will silence him.
If you've a plan, I trust you to see it through. But I shall keep a hand on my hammer throughout.
It's your time that's running out, not mine. So go on, tell me all the ways I'm wrong. Better yet, tell the whole room how His Eminence, the Sovereign, was wrong. This was originally his plan, after all. I am merely a partner, seeing it carried out. Yes, well, we also lost the support of the Order. But can one truly call that a loss? We would have drowned already in the seas of war with the weight of their inaction around our necks. The same can be said for any subject who wavers. They are dead weight, and we must cast them off straight away. Once I win the war and leave those naysayers behind, harsh action will be swiftly forgotten. And once I provide for the needs of my subjects, I will have them forever. And our devotion must be tested by fire, as it is said, else it is not true. You are clearly ill-equipped to speak on Arcadian affairs, or of what truly matters to its subjects. I alone can give them what they need. You must see that. So you say. But you've yet to deliver any compelling evidence.
I doubt you've had anyone capable checking your calculations. You don't strike me as particularly thorough, or much of a heavy thinker.
I am the chosen shepherd of Arcadia and will not be spoken to like this. I am only doing what I must to restore this colony to what our matriarch envisioned. Free of war, strife, heresy. You must know that you have little chance of swaying me. I will not be distracted from taking what is owed to us. I will not be lectured by an outsider. It's just like the Earth Directorate, or any other interloper, to claim to better know the customs of those they invade. Certainly if you had your way, you would claim Arcadia as yours, and rewrite history to suit your own aims. Heresy!
I found her correspondence with the First Bishop. She explicitly said she feared the Arcadian experiment would end as all similar projects did before it, in a crumbling heap of hubris.
The matriarch foresaw many things. To think that we were not set apart from lesser societies, it is humbling. And it appears we have fallen prey to the very thing she warned of. What do you mean, steered wrongly? If Reuben was not carrying out her wishes as intended, then the Protectorate have strayed far from the matriarch's light. But regardless of how I may have misstepped before, I am not in the wrong now. All your so-called arguments are pure hearsay.
You allow your resolve to be shaken when millions lie dead? If I had not traveled with the Commander, I would attempt to slay you on the spot. Instead, I shall appeal to any lingering remnant of your honor to do what is right.
Do not speak to me as though I must be punished. And you claimed so boldly that this plan of mine would fail. So, where is it? Where is your proof? And leave the traitors and invaders alive? No! Death is the only way forward. We can only be made pure from the ashes, despite whatever supposed proof you have to the contrary. Claim? If you cannot see the truth of my devotion written plain, then now I see why you are against me so. But you are wrong about the risk. We are losing this war. It is inevitable. The victors will brutally subdue us until we become corrupted. Until we forget our principles, our history, the very core of who we are. It is better that we perish together as proud Protectorate, proud Arcadians. Preserving our purity is a mercy. More than that, is it not love? Even through extreme hardship and the tyranny of corporatists? Even if every aspect of the framework we've established is torn down around them? No. No. We have raised a stalwart people. Instilled principles of the Protectorate in them from their first breath. Perhaps I must trust that they've taken our teachings to heart. There may yet be other ways to save my beloved Arcadia, but I cannot be the one to see them to their completion. I surrender. What? Oh, by the matriarch. It seems we have a problem. The rift has... well, it has nearly destabilized completely. And the modulator cannot close it in its current state from a safe distance. Destruction of Arcadia is imminent. Architect, help us. No. Not all of us. A chance yet remains. We must bring the modulator as close to the rift as possible. However, when the rift folds in on itself, this ship and its operator will not survive.
Are you sure there isn't just an off button? Maybe something you can unplug?
I'm not surprised your arrogance put us in this position. Even less surprised that you're now looking around, asking who will suffer to get us out of it.
Let me be clear. I am not placing this burden upon your shoulders. This burden upon your shoulders. This was my doing. And so it is my responsibility to set things right. I will give you time to vacate the ship. When you are clear, I will fly it into the rift myself. You are right. Arcadia will find its way without me. Think what you wish of me, but this is my responsibility. And that is something I will never shirk from.
I will accompany him, and ensure all goes as planned. It's only right that I complete the very mission I came here for. Thank you, Commander. Perhaps in this, I might achieve vindication.
Then it is settled. We will see this work done.
I hope my story proves a cautionary tale. My path was certainly nothing to aggrandize.
Let's get on with it then.
When the consul was faced with the undeniable errors in his logic, he chose to save Arcadia by closing the rift himself. He died hoping his sacrifice might make up for the disastrous decisions he had made. Augustine de Vries did not even have that hope left in her final moments. She knew nothing would make up for her actions. But at least she'd not have to live with her guilt any longer. Thanks to the commander's quick thinking in sparing it from the Vox station's fiery crash, Paradise Island's Fairfield remained a profitable company town for Auntie's Choice. Acquisitions Officer Carr enjoyed the perks and power that came with promotion for her asset-winning techniques on Paradise Island. Her rival, D.B. Milverstreet, meanwhile, seethed as he pushed cold morsels of Borstloaf around the plate of his microwave dinner. Auntie's Choice assumed control over the day-to-day workings of Matriarch's Mercy, the better to monitor their new colleagues in the Order. The monastery, however, returned to normal operation, tracking the clockwork of the grand plan. The monastery's abbot became a scapegoat for recent tragic events, having not detected Wiley's dastardly schemes. His superiors demoted him, mainly to show their corporatist allies that academics could keep their people in line too. Seer Wiley fled the Order and sought refuge in a backwater Arcadian town to contemplate his failings. As word of the ex-seer's arrival spread, people lined up for predictions. Forsaking the math that failed him, he offered obvious yet effective advice instead. Archivist Victor Clemens, having survived his encounter with the commander and manipulation by de Vries, ended up working as a janitor for Auntie's Choice, living a life of menial simplicity. After defending Fort Endurance against a fierce Mantisaur attack, Executive Wojciech was awarded a commendation for profit-securing stalwartness, as well as promotion to regional manager. He eventually passed peacefully in his sleep at the scientifically astounding age of 6. Val continued to serve the commander of the Incognito faithfully for many more years than should be possible, giving automechs like her everywhere a reputation as stable and reliable. As a result, more Valerie units were put into service, while fewer human agents were deployed into the field. As he rose through the Earth Directorate ranks, Niles pressed for a field directive to deploy the new VAL units only when the situation posed significant risk. The policy reduced agent casualties by a significant margin. Oddly enough, in-office deaths increased by a not insignificant margin. Agent Niles Ibarra achieved the rank of commander, earning renown as a formidable agent, unafraid to challenge the status quo within the Earth Directorate. He recruited his friend Zebulon Tran to the Earth Directorate, a gesture of gratitude for not airing the Directorate's dirty laundry. Together, they vowed to reform the agency from within, so it might never again bargain with authoritarian governments. Ultimately, Niles rose to the position of Secretary General. His term saw the Earth Directorate at its most popular, or, in the eyes of corporations and tyrannical governments, most feared. Thanks to her effective performance at the Praetor blockade, Inez eventually became a VP of Auntie's Choice and head of the revamped grafting program. Through her egalitarian management style, grafting evolved into the corporation's first health benefit, available to all employees who wanted it. Utilizing what he learned alongside the commander, Tristan attempted to reform Protectorate society from within. But with no authority figure to lead its subjects, the Protectorate was a shell of its former self. After Azza disbanded the Glorious Dawn, its members quietly tried to resume lives forever disrupted by the Arcadian conflict. As the cult's murderous legacy faded, average colonist life expectancy increased by 0.23%. With the modulator schematics shared as joint intellectual property, Auntie's Choice and the Order's partnership remained steady, despite the need for constant compromise. For a time, the Arcadia Colony thrived. Auntie Cleo went through the motions of accommodating the Order, yet privately aspired to keep free trade anything but free. She began a new initiative. Any corporation or government that refused her trade conditions was promptly dealt with, either via takeover or strategic use of rifts. Auntie made her first public appearance in years, inspiring a fashion trend in bubble helmets. In no time at all, she won more public support than Ruth, which she sought to use as leverage when the time was right. Unable to acquire the chemicals needed for the process, Ruth Bassar nevertheless attempted to interface with the archive, and died immediately. Her successor banned any future interfacing attempts, and led the Order in a much more cautious direction, delaying their progress for at least a century. Adrift without firm leadership, Protectorate subjects struggled with post-war life. A small band of hardliners collaborated to preserve their society in the face of Arcadia's new leadership. When Sovereign Varric was discovered in mental refreshment, the Order and Auntie's Choice bickered over what to do with him. They ultimately decided to announce his death, while letting him live the rest of his addled days behind closed doors aboard the undisputed claim. Until one day, Amos stumbled upon the Sovereign's private quarters and freed him, rocking the colony with a brief scandal. Despite the recent tumultuous events in Arcadia, it was business as usual for Free Market Station. Sub Rosa continued to supply the colony in the wake of the commander's actions. The dangerous experimental research of Marisol's contact from Point Obviation lived on, with a Seer predicted 11.9% probability of yielding a universe-ending catastrophe. Meanwhile, an entrepreneurial work group of chemistricians unveiled a new flavor of Purple Berry Crunch. The release of the skip drive schematics to the public domain resulted in new and exciting opportunities for independent manufacturers. However, unchecked use of the drives would ultimately lead to an even greater proliferation of rifts, once again imperiling the galaxy. Fortunately, the Order stepped in. Leveraging their partnership with Auntie's Choice, the Order sold rift modulators to all skip drive manufacturers for a modest price. thus preventing another outbreak of rifts, while Auntie's Choice made a tidy profit. The rift compromise between the Order and Auntie's Choice led to prioritized assistance for the colonies that agreed to favorable trading terms. The so-called Auntie's Loyalty Program tripled the corporation's net worth. Meanwhile, the Order was able to sermonize their version of scientism alongside Auntie's marketing and PR onslaught, at least to colonies in Auntie's loyalty program. Many outside died because their rifts weren't closed in time. All of these events turned on the decisive actions of the Earth Directorate agent and their unique way of navigating Arcadia, its disparate factions, social complexities, ubiquitous product placement, and arsenal of absurdly satisfying weaponry. But through it all, and to this day, Earth has remained inexplicably dark.